MacKenzie Gore delivers yet another shutout dominant start. And guys, forget the ace conversation. We already know that he is the Washington Nationals ace. Let's put the guy in Cy Young conversation.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, I am your host, Ryan Clary. You can catch me over on Twitter at RyanClary11 and as well as our show page at LO_Nationals. For all your latest Nationals news and notes, make sure to check us out over on Twitter. And of course, look up Locked On Nationals wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's on Apple, Spotify, and of course, the video version over on YouTube. Again, just search Locked On Nationals. That is where you'll find your daily coverage of the Washington Nationals. And of course, we are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every single day. And later on in today's show, we have got Game 3 of this Nats-Cubs series. The Nationals are going up against the best and probably the deepest team outside of the Dodgers in the National League. Can the Nationals get it done? The Cubs have an opener today, someone who has been around Major League Baseball for quite some time and has come out of retirement and has been a stud, Drew Pomeranz. We'll have that preview for you as Jake Irvin takes a bump later on in today's show. Second segment, you got to feel pretty good about where the Nationals are. They're 14-12 in the month of May. Obviously, we are now flipping the calendar. We are here in June. And the Nationals, they're continuing their really stellar play at this point. Even though the offensive production has not really been there over the last few days, you're going up against a good Cubs team. How do you feel about this team moving forward? We'll have that for you later on in today's program. But the ace, not even just the ace, the Cy Young candidate, and yes, I'm putting him in that conversation. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel, and right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's FanDuel.com. MacKenzie Gore does it again, guys. I don't have to say this really much longer, but he belongs in the Cy Young conversation. MacKenzie Gore leads Major League Baseball in strikeouts. MacKenzie Gore has a sub-3 ERA. He's got actually a losing record at this point because we all know that the Nationals, whatever reason, they cannot get run support for this man. In yesterday's contest, they finally did. Ahmed Rosario, he got the job done in the 7th inning, hitting that solo home run to finally put the Nationals on the board. And that was kind of what carried the Nats all the way to a win because they won 2-0. And really, with where the Nationals are, you have to feel pretty damn good about where you are with MacKenzie Gore. If you look at the odds, really wherever you get it, but here on FanDuel, we use FanDuel. FanDuel is sleeping on MacKenzie Gore. I was looking at his Cy Young odds just to kind of dilly-daddle, you could say. He's at plus 4,000. Now, we could talk about, well, the Nationals aren't very good. And yes, there is Paul Skenes. He's likely not to win the Cy Young. But we should be talking as if this guy is in the conversation. And I don't think MacKenzie Gore gets that respect around baseball. I do think he gets that respect right here in D.C., and he should. The Nationals, they have been gifted in the past with stellar pitchers. Max Scherzer. You've had Steven Strasburg. You've had guys in the past like Liman Hernandez. You might joke, but he was actually a good pitcher at a time here in D.C. He belongs in this conversation. Our guy Bobby Blanco from Masson Sports, he put this out yesterday, and I thought it just kind of put everything in a bow for MacKenzie Gore. Right now, he is first in the NL and Major League Baseball with 108 strikeouts on the year. He is first in the NL for Ks per 9, nearly 13 strikeouts per 9 innings. He is fourth with 75 and a third innings pitched. His strikeout to walk ratio is at a 4.9, basically 5 there if you think about it that way. And he's sixth in the National League. Quality starts, 8 of 13, tied for 6, and his ERA is in the top 10 in the National League. Also, he's got a whip that's 13th in the NL and he has a 231 average against, which is 17th. Those bottom half numbers there, maybe all not that impressive. But the things that I look at, his strikeout to walk ratio, top 6 in the National League. His innings pitched, top 5 in the National League. His Ks per 9, first in the National League, most strikeouts in Major League Baseball today. This guy is a special player. And we have talked about James Wood and just how good James Wood could be. We should. Wood is a special player. But we don't talk enough about MacKenzie Gore. And getting a real ace back in that Juan Soto deal on top of a superstar outfielder with James Wood, who really not many people in Major League Baseball have the skill set that James Wood has. And there are a lot of other pitchers in baseball that have the skill set of MacKenzie Gore. Let's just be honest. He's not like a special talent. Like, we don't look at this guy like we do at James Wood, because James Wood has special power. MacKenzie Gore is just your solid, everyday ace, and that's okay. There's nothing that really sticks out from this guy, but that's fine. He does everything very well. In fact, he is above average in basically every single category that you could imagine. His command this year has been much better. His fastball this year has been stellar. His curve, everything about MacKenzie Gore this season has been incredible. I think myself here, hand up, I simply do not talk about this guy enough and how good that this guy has been. But I think here in DC, we know, and we have known for the last few seasons, how good MacKenzie Gore has been. In seeing in yesterday's ball game what he did for like what feels like the 10th time in a row, going out there for a quality start against a very good offense when your team kind of needs you the most. You're going into what, the 7th inning to 0-0 ball game, and Ahmed Rosario finally breaks it open and gets MacKenzie Gore his 3rd win of the season. That is what we have to see every 5 days. And it is just a treat to get to watch MacKenzie Gore on a daily basis. Let me ask you this real quick, because I think this is something a lot of people are going to be talking about this offseason. Do the Washington Nationals still have to get an ace? You know, we've always talked about it, and at least I have. You may have thought differently. But over the years, I've always said, like, the Lerners are going to have to go in and find their Max Scherzer via free agency or via trade, whether it be trade for a Garrett Crochet that we talked about this offseason, whether it be going after and trying to sign Corbin Burns this offseason. But is that conversation going to be happening in a few months' time when the Nationals are in the offseason, when they hopefully have wrapped up a much better season than the past 2 years and hopefully are around a winning record, maybe in the wild card race? Who knows where the Nationals could be? But will we be talking about adding an ace and adding a stud pitcher in free agency? I do think we will be, because I do think the Nationals still need starting pitching. I still believe that the Nationals are going to have to add to this rotation because, let's be honest, Jake Irvin, as much as I love him, he's not a number 2 starter on a very good team. And the Nationals, hopefully we will be a very good team, maybe next year or in 2 years from now. They still need to add. But I do believe the conversation has shifted. And it has shifted from going to get your ace, going to get your Max Scherzer, to going to get your Steven Strasburg. Basically a 1B kind of starter. Steven Strasburg, that's what he was here. He was your ace. But when you have Max Scherzer, an all-time generational pitcher, he's going to be the guy, obviously. But you need your Steven Strasburg. You need that 1B kind of guy. And I think MacKenzie Gore easily fills a 1B role and has the ceiling to touch that 1A role. Last night's ball game, as he got deeper into the game, I was just sitting there watching and just being like, this guy is so talented. And we simply just do not discuss that all too much. Like we do, obviously, every 5 days, MacKenzie Gore has a quality start. He goes deeper into ball games. Davey Martinez trusts him with every ounce of his body weight at this point. We all know that. But the conversation around Gore, I think, could be much larger than what it is. I've already mentioned that he should be in the Cy Young conversation. I believe last night on my YouTube short, I believe I said he should win the National League Cy Young. In that moment, kind of forgot about Paul Skenes there. Not going to lie. Paul Skenes is having an insane season, probably the best pitcher in all of baseball up to this point. So maybe he won't win Cy Young this year. But MacKenzie Gore belongs in that top 5 conversation for the year that he has been putting up so far. One thing we'll have to watch for is during these summer months, we have seen it the last 2 seasons. That's typically when he's kind of blown up a little bit. The first few months of the season, he starts red hot. And then as the summer comes in and the summer really starts to heat up, so does the ball start to fly. So if MacKenzie Gore can keep the ball in the park, which he has done at a pretty good rate this season, and if he can continue to build off some strong starts, he's going to be in the Cy Young conversation. In that conversation of not even just Cy Young, but going out there and getting an ace, it's going to start to shrink a little bit more as the days go by. Because MacKenzie Gore is your ace. And MacKenzie Gore is a special talent. And MacKenzie Gore is one of the better pitchers in all of baseball up at this point. He has put up a stellar season. And I think a lot of Nationals fans, we should probably be talking a lot about that more. Because he has been incredible in 2025. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. Let's jump into how you feel about the Nationals so far as of late, because the Nationals, they've been playing some really good baseball, but how does that make you feel? Like, do you think that this is real? Do you think that there's going to have some improvements to come? What will have to change? Kind of have a little bit of a vibe check here on Locked On Nationals. But before we jump into that, got to tell you guys about our friends at FanDuel. And the NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances. And like tonight, the NBA Finals, they are here. Tyrese Halliburton has been the breakout player. He has been the talk around town, as he probably should have won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, but he did not. So I'm going to go to FanDuel today. Number one, I'm going to put some money on him to win the NBA Finals MVP. And of course, I have the Pacers winning the title this year. I think they knock off the OKC Thunder. And of course, I'm a basketball fan, but I'm also a big basketball fan just in general. I got to talk about tonight's game. Pascal Siakam over on the rebounds. Tyrese Halliburton over on points, as well as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I've got him on over on the free throw attempts. I could see a lot of action tonight, and I don't want to miss the action because I've got FanDuel to help keep me tight in there. New to FanDuel, it's a perfect time to sign up and head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, I'm your host, Ryan Clary. Catch me over on Twitter at RyanClary11 and look us up wherever you get your podcasts. Again, just look up Locked On Nationals. So the Nationals right now sit at 29-32 as they get going to face the Chicago Cubs tonight. They could potentially win this series, and that'll be, 3 straight series wins for your Washington Nationals. Over their last 10 games, they are 6-4. Their run differential, although it's kind of telling, they're at -40 on the season. Like the Atlanta Braves, who are in 4th place in the NL East behind the Nats, they have a +7 run differential. So with the Nationals right now, how do you feel? You have to feel good. You do. And yes, you might be saying, Ryan, last week you said that the Nationals were bottom dwellers. You said that Ken Rosenthal was right. Let's kind of separate those two things for a second. Because I believe that this organization and the way that it is run from top all the way to bottom, I disagree with a lot of what is going on right now. I think ownership is checked out. And when you have a checked out ownership group, then obviously it's going to trickle down to your front office, to your baseball operations, everything that you could possibly imagine. So yeah, I do think those things can kind of coexist and make it a pretty good product. And the Nationals could be better. Let's say you go in this past offseason and you decide that you want to start spending, that you want to go make that splash. whether it be a Corbin Burns, whether it be a Max Fried, whether it be a Christian Walker, who, yes, everyone has told me he's been bad this season. I know. I get it. But the Nationals did not do that. So, yeah, I do believe that at this point in time, the Nationals are unfortunately in the bottom of the barrel as far as baseball goes. But that does not mean I cannot feel good about where the Nationals are right now. Because a lot of people, and really just anyone in general, when you get dumped on the way that Ken Rosenthal did, you really have two ways to go about it. You could take that and you could just sit on it and live with it. Or you can take that and use it as motivation and start winning games. Davey Martinez has gotten this ball club after that Ken Rosenthal slam piece, because let's be honest, it came out of nowhere. Like, Ken Rosenthal could have talked about that piece 2 years ago and I would have said, yeah, that checks out. This is one of the worst teams in all of baseball. Their farm system, while it's good, there's still a lot of things that have to go the Nationals' way. And fortunately for us, they have gone our way. But I thought it was an overall fair piece. And Davey Martinez, he has taken this ball club and he has kind of run with it. He has gone in, and now you look at this team, and they're third in the NL East, considered to be one of the tougher divisions in all of baseball this season. And the Nationals have a fighting chance at the playoffs. It feels good. Right now, you're 4.5 games out of a wild card spot in June 5th. I feel great about the Nationals. I feel good about where we are. And with all the things that we have said about the ownership, about the development, and how prospects kind of just come in here and some of them just die out and you never hear anything about them moving forward, you also have some good pieces here. You've seen Dalen Lyle. You saw Robert Hassel last night. You've seen a lot of different prospects come up here and make some impacts, like Jake Irvin, who was really the last regime under Dijon Watson here at DC. And now you have, blanking on his name right now, but he's the new guy, kind of analytical. You understand the point at this rate. But I feel good. And you should feel good, because you are seeing the development at the major league level. You're seeing James Wood go from a 780 OPS last year to raking at the major league level, and you cannot give this guy a day off, because all he's going to do is hit the you-know-what out of the baseball. MacKenzie Gore, each and every single season, gets better and better and better. 26 years old. You feel good about that. Jake Irvin, similar to MacKenzie Gore, has gotten better and better and better as the season has gone on. CJ Abrams, while the consistency is still not there yet, he's 24 years old, still a puppy in baseball terms, and I feel good about CJ Abrams, where the Nationals are at there. They have pieces. And with this team and kind of where we are now, how do you not feel good? This is the fun time. This is the fun time of this rebuild, the back half, where you kind of start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And there is some. Because again, with all the young talent here, Dalen Lyle has been ultra impressive. While I did not love that he had the day off yesterday, I just believe that the Nationals needed to have Robert Hassel play in center field, and that's why they had Hassel in the lineup over him. But I feel great about Dalen Lyle. I feel really good about Robert Hassel III. I feel just insane about James Wood and the development that he has at 22 years old. And also you got Brady House knocking on the door of Major League Baseball. I expect him to get a call up within the next few weeks. He just turned 22 years old a few days ago. The time is now for the kid. How do you not feel good about where the Nationals are right now? This is the fun time when you have this hot streak, when you are in the conversation and in the hunt, quote unquote, of being in the wild card chase here. This is it. We have not had this all too often in the past few seasons. It's really been since 2021, when the Nationals were like 2 games above 500 in the later part of June. Now, if you kind of put everything into perspective with how things have been run and the trades that the Nationals have made, they're on time. This is the year that they should be in this conversation. But also, a few weeks ago, and really earlier on this season, in the month of April, we were all kind of talking about like, oh my God, this thing might blow up on our face. And then a winning record in May comes. You have a nice little hot start in June. You're competing against the best team in the National League with the Chicago Cubs at this point. You feel good, and you should feel good. So right now, for Nationals fans, the vibes are high, and they should be. This team is playing well. The organization has their top prospect with Brady House outside of Travis Sakura, at least, who continues to dominate in the high A Wilmington. Please call him up to the major leagues tomorrow. You feel good, and you should feel good. Because the Nats, they've got some talent, and they're starting to develop some as well. So something to keep an eye on as the Nationals, they stay hot, and they have to take on the Cubs tonight, and they could beat the Cubs at home in D.C. That's going to be a big win for this ball club. So thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen. Let's preview this Cubs game tonight with Jake Irvin on the bump going up against Drew Pomeranz. We'll talk about that after this. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. And in tonight's show, you have got Jake Irvin on the bump. He is coming off a pretty bad start, probably his worst start all season, where he gave up 10 hits and 6 earned runs in Arizona. He did go 5 innings pitched there, but Jake Irvin, that was probably his worst start all season. One thing I will say about Jake Irvin, though, as of recent, he has not been giving up the long ball. Jake Irvin has been really steady in that category so far through the last few starts here. Has not been able to give up the long ball. Although in tonight's contest, I expect Kyle Tucker to be back in the lineup. And I think that's going to throw things off a little bit because, again, Kyle Tucker is a great talent. I don't need to tell you guys all about Kyle Tucker. You know about him. He might win the MVP this year, and he has been incredible for the Chicago Cubs, and he has been an awesome trade so far for them. But Jake Irvin can hold his own. And if you kind of look at it and kind of the matchups here, he has not faced Jake Irvin yet. While we are scared about him, and you should be because this guy has power, he can hit for average, he can do it all as a hitter. He has opposite field power, he has pull side power, whatever you want, he's got it. But then you look at this team overall, and while some guys have some pretty good numbers against him, I still feel good about this. Now on the flip side of the coin with Drew Pomeranz, wild story. He was retired after 2021, came back with the Cubs this year, and he has been legit dominant so far this season. And what? He started one game, but even then it was a fake start. He's an opener, and that's what he's going to be like tonight. He'll probably go 2 innings pitch at most. He has 15 appearances, 1 start, 13 2/3 innings pitched, 15 strikeouts, a 0.51 whip on the season, 2-0 record, and 0 earned runs. This guy is defying all odds at this point. He has come in for the Chicago Cubs at a retirement, has not pitched in baseball since 2021, and he has come out here and he is just shoving at the age of 36. It's pretty incredible because you don't really see this too often, especially with pitchers. Like, to stay in pitching shape, that's a hard thing to do. And now I'm not talking about lifting and running and all that, although you do have to do that. But to keep your arm in shape, to go out there and toss 92 miles per hour, that's a really hard thing to do for anyone. So kudos to him. I think this is actually a great story. When I saw that it was a TBD a few days ago for this start today, I was like, it's probably going to be Drew Pomeranz, and that's who we're getting. And he has been a nasty, nasty pitcher so far this season. If you look at it, overall, his last 7 appearances, he's gone 6 innings with 2 hits given up, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. And even before that, his numbers overall, he's given up 4 hits this season and 14 innings pitched. He has put up incredible performance for the Chicago Cubs. So maybe he runs into a buzzsaw tonight with the Washington Nationals because this Nats lineup, it can get hot, and it does tend to do really well against good pitching. We've seen Zach Wheeler come in, Aaron Nola, guys at the Phillies, they get rocked around in Nationals Park. Maybe Drew Pomeranz, he joins that line of studs. So thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen. Enjoy tonight's contest. Let's get this series win. And tomorrow, you've got Patrick Corbin returning to Nats Park. My, oh my.